This third outcome is all about using internet technologies safely and responsibly in your studies. We'll look honestly at social media in academic life and weigh up the safeguarding, data, and security issues that come with being online. The internet sits at the heart of modern study, but it brings risks alongside its obvious benefits. Using it safely protects you, your data, and other people, which is why this outcome asks you to analyze social media in academia and evaluate online safeguarding. Along the way, we'll touch on data protection, copyright, cybersecurity, academic integrity, ethical AI use, and digital professionalism. It's a broad picture, but every piece connects back to staying safe and acting responsibly. Social media genuinely earns a place in academic life when it's used with a bit of care. Study groups on WhatsApp or Teams help learners share notes and revise together. Following experts and institutions keeps you current. And a platform like LinkedIn supports your career and professional networking. The point is that these are real, useful academic habits, not just distractions. Used thoughtfully, social media can nudge you towards better information. Let's be specific about responsible use. You might run a study group to organize revision, follow academic journals and organizations for current information, or gather views for a project, being careful about how reliable they are. Imagine an ONS thread on X linking to newly released official data. That's social media at its best. The key is to treat it as a signpost pointing you towards reliable sources, never as the evidence itself. Social media in academia is a real mix of strengths and weaknesses. On the plus side, it's fast, free, and easy to reach. It connects learners and experts worldwide, and it can surface developments almost as they happen. On the downside, reliability varies and is hard to verify. Misinformation spreads quickly, content can change or vanish, and echo chambers and distraction are never far away. A breaking research story on social media might be genuine, or it might be nonsense, and that's precisely the problem. Here's something easy to overlook. A social media source can grow less reliable simply as time passes. Posts get edited or deleted, so a link you cited might no longer show what you claimed. An account's credibility can shift, or a change of ownership can alter how a platform is moderated. That instability is exactly why social media rarely stands up as an academic source on its own. Always trace a claim back to a recognized source and reference that instead. It helps to draw a clear line between appropriate and inappropriate use. Organizing a study group, following the ONS, or finding a link to a peer-reviewed paper are all perfectly fine. Citing an anonymous post as fact, sharing someone else's work without credit, or breaching another person's privacy clearly are not. The balanced judgment is that social media is a handy support for academic life, but a weak primary source. And this outcome wants you to weigh both the value and the risks. Safeguarding means protecting people, especially vulnerable learners, from harm online. The Online Safety Act of 2023 places duties on platforms to shield users from illegal and harmful content. And every college has its own safeguarding policy, a designated lead, and clear routes for reporting concerns. The practical takeaway is to know how to raise a worry and where to get help if something goes wrong. Knowing the process before you need it makes all the difference. A few key terms will keep coming up. Safeguarding is protecting people's health, well-being and rights, particularly online, while the Online Safety Act of 2023 is the UK law making platforms responsible for user safety. A vulnerable learner is someone at greater risk of harm who may need extra protection, and the designated lead is the named staff member responsible for safeguarding concerns. If you're ever unsure who to turn to, that designated lead is the person to find. Personal data has to be handled lawfully, fairly and securely, and that's the law, not just good manners. The UK GDPR and the Data Protection Act of 2018 set the rules, with the ICO keeping watch. In plain terms, you only collect the data you need, keep it accurate, secure it, and don't hang on to it longer than necessary. For you day to day, that means not sharing other people's personal details and storing your own files safely. Information security rests on three simple ideas, often called the CIA triad. Confidentiality means only authorized people can see the data. Integrity means it stays accurate and unaltered. And availability means it's there when you need it. Good everyday habits protect all three, from strong passwords and regular backups to a bit of care over what you share. Lose a laptop with no backup and no password, and you've undermined all three at once. The data protection principles are worth knowing in brief. Processing must be lawful and fair, meaning you have a valid reason and you're open about it. You collect only what you need for a clear purpose. You keep personal data accurate and up to date, and you protect it against loss, theft, and unauthorized access. None of this is especially technical, it's mostly common sense written down. Follow it and you handle people's information the way you'd want your own handled. Let's run through the main threats and the simple defenses. Phishing uses fake messages to trick you into sharing details, so check the sender and never click unknown links, while malware is harmful software kept at bay with antivirus updates and avoiding dodgy downloads. Weak passwords invite trouble, so use long, unique ones with a password manager. And public Wi-Fi is risky, so avoid logging into important accounts on it or use a VPN. Most attacks rely on a moment of inattention, so slowing down is half the protection. Phishing is the threat students meet most often, so it's worth knowing the tells. Watch for a sense of urgency, an odd-looking sender address, and a generic greeting that doesn't use your name. The cardinal rule is never to enter your password from a link in an email. When in doubt, go straight to the official website yourself or report the message to IT rather than risk it. Passwords are your first line of defense, so make them count. The NCSC recommends stringing 3 random words together for something both strong and memorable, and using a different password for each important account. Turn on two-factor authentication wherever you can, since it stops a stolen password on its own from letting anyone in. And never share passwords, or scribble them where others can see them. Most digital material, from images and text to music and video, is protected by copyright, which means you can't simply copy and reuse it without permission or a license. Creative Commons licenses offer a middle way, letting creators share their work under set conditions. So before you drop an image into a presentation, check its license and give proper attribution. A quick credit line is a small price for using someone else's work fairly. Creative Commons comes in a few flavors worth recognizing. CC. BY lets you reuse and adapt work as long as you credit the author. CC BY say adds that you must share your version under the same terms. And CC BY NC restricts you to non-commercial use. CC BY ND lets you reuse the work whole and unchanged with credit, while CC 0 effectively places it in the public domain with no rights reserved. Checking which one applies takes seconds and keeps you on the right side of the rules. Academic integrity simply means being honest about whose ideas and work you're presenting. Plagiarism, passing off someone else's work as your own, is treated as a serious offence, and you avoid it by paraphrasing properly, quoting accurately, and referencing every source. Colleges run similarity-checking software such as Turnitin to catch it. The good news is that solid referencing habits, the ones from the first outcome, keep you safely in the clear. AI tools, from chatbots and summarizers to note-takers and planners, can genuinely support your study, offering quick explanations, ideas, and drafting help. But they have real limits because they can be wrong, biased, or even invent facts and fake references. Ethical use means checking the output, doing your own thinking, and declaring and referencing any AI use in line with policy. Submitting AI written work as your own crosses the line into misconduct, so use it as a support and verify everything. Two ideas round out this section: professionalism and inclusion. Digital professionalism is about communicating politely and clearly, using an appropriate tone in emails and forums, protecting privacy, and remembering that your digital footprint lasts. Digital inclusion recognizes that access to devices, internet, and skills varies from person to person, so you use ICT in ways that bring people in rather than shut them out. Sharing resources and being patient with different skill levels is part of using technology responsibly. Pulling the safety picture together, online technologies bring real benefits but equally real risks to your safety, data, and integrity. The strongest protection combines three layers: the law, through the Online Safety Act and GDPR, institutional policy, through your college, and personal responsibility, through your own habits. No single layer is enough on its own, because laws set the rules and colleges provide policies, but it's your daily choices that keep you safe. The reasoned conclusion is that online safety is a shared responsibility, and informed users are the best defense. Let's gather up this outcome. Social media has genuine academic uses, from study groups to following experts and sharing links, but it's an unreliable primary source that shifts over time. Safeguarding protects vulnerable users under the Online Safety Act and college policy, while data protection follows the UK GDPR principles and the CIA triad. And staying safe online means spotting phishing and malware, using strong passwords and two-factor authentication, respecting copyright, and combining ethical AI use and professionalism with law, policy, and personal responsibility. That completes our look at using internet technologies safely in an academic setting. You've analysed the place of social media in study and weighed up safeguarding, data protection, and cybersecurity to reach a balanced judgment. To take it further, the further reading points to the ICO for data protection, the National Cybersecurity Centre's Cyber Aware Guidance, and the gov.uk pages on the Online Safety Act, all of which are very readable. There are also JISC and Turnitin case studies on digital experience and academic integrity worth exploring, plus the ebooks on the unit's Moodle page. And do ask your tutor if anything needs clarifying.